So speaking of things that can vary, some fuel pumps actually will rattle. So just because you pick it up and you hear some rattling in there does not mean it's bad. It could be just the way it's made, and that's the case of this pump right here. Now, some things that shouldn't be rattling are the little things off of the turbine that moves the fuel. So sometimes bits of gravel or little tiny pebbles can get inside the fuel pumps. Where's this stuff come from? Well, around the filler neck, where we get dirt and grime from the road, things that are flying around, the same crap that falls in your eyes when you work underneath the chassis of the vehicle, that gets in the filler neck area. You take the cap off, some of that stuff can get down in the tank. It can also come in through the evap vent. So a couple different sources to get junk in a fuel tank besides the tank itself at the gas station, where you can draw water or whatever kind of contaminants might be in the fuel tank at the gas station. So something hard enough to break some of those little plastic tines off that turbine can go spinning around and then get lodged in the fuel pump sections, and depending on if it's in the input section or the output section, can cause either low current and low pressure or high current and low pressure. Here's also some things on check valves you may see, and some of these can be part of the rattle situations, quite normal in doing so. So every pump's a little bit different, and that's what gives us some of these variations. Now, speaking of things that get into the tank that can also not only wreck a fuel pump, but can also get into fuel injectors and clog them, is the dirt and contaminants that are in the tank that we need to change out fuel pumps. We want to make sure we clean the tank. So Delphi has a part number FC01 that you're going to want to look into and make sure you get some for the next fuel pump job that you do. This is the steps you go through, and by the way, unlike a lot of things we do in life in this service world, yeah, pour that stuff in, I got common sense. No, 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 no. Unless you've done this a dozen times with this particular part number and this kit, follow each of the 10 simple steps for directions. The first step, of course, is to clean the rust around the ring that holds the modular fuel pump assembly in the top of the tank. Then blow that off with shop air, or better yet, use one of those little vacuums to pull it up. Secondly, remove the fuel pump from the tank unit and then drain the fuel into an approved container like a fuel caddy. Swirl the gas that's around in the tank currently, the residual gas, swirl that around a little bit, picking up debris, and then dump that into the approved gasoline container. Then number 5, you're going to pour this solution into the tank interior. Just pour it right in there. And then you're going to also add some water to make it a soapy mixture. Then once again, step number 6, you're going to do the sloshing around of the tank, getting as much of the debris as you can possibly pick up, stuff maybe you can't even see because of baffles and so forth, into that soapy water solution, and then you're going to drain that out and then use compressed air with a blowgun to get it as dry as possible. And then the rag that's provided, this is a lint-free rag. You don't want to use one of those shop towels that's got all the red stuff that's going to fall out, and that's going to get stuck in the inlet filter. It's going to get stuck in the pump, who knows where else, in an injector for all we know. And then finally, a little bit of time, about 30 minutes out in the sun if possible, to let the interior of that tank completely dry out of any residual water, and now you're good to go. You've got a brand new Delphi fuel pump and a squeaky clean tank ready for a one and done job, so you can make money and not have a comeback.